1 game, 2 hours. Hook me. I, the Somnium Files. Welcome everybody to a new episode. It's been quite a while since we took a look at Persona 4, and I figured it's about time I made some more content for the anime fans within my audience. But before you pack your things and head out to the next video, hold up just a second, because this game may also be interesting to you. However, before we find out why, let's take a quick look at the developer and the publisher for this one. The Somnium Files is being developed and published by Chunsoft, which you've probably heard of. Or if you haven't heard of them directly, you most likely know at least one of their games. Since Spike and Chunsoft have merged, they are probably most well known for their visual novel adaptations of Steins Gate and Danganronpa or the Conception series. But before that, they've also brought us the first few installments of the Dragon Quest series as well as the Mystery Dungeons franchise. And they did have their hands on Jump Force as well. And I think with that final example, we should be thankful that they returned to something that they actually know of. Because the Somnium Files is a murder mystery visual novel. But don't get the wrong impression here. This isn't just clicking through a bunch of text and then choosing which anime girly you want to hop into the sheets with. This is a more interactive visual novel with some gimmicks and less romance. But let's start at the beginning. Please be aware that there will be minor spoilers for the first 2 hours of the game. So you start the game out as Special Agent Kaname Date, who has lost most of his memory as well as his left eye. You're basically a detective tasked with investigating crime scenes and solving murders. However, investigating crime scenes with just one eye is kind of a handicap, so your left eye has been replaced with an AI called Aiba. Yes, it's an eyeball, it's very funny, but more to the point, this AI gives you various tools that help you investigate, such as X-ray or thermal vision, as well as just a whole lot of information. But she's got quite the attitude. Or shall we say personality.
Hey, Pewter, about Aiba, could you do something about her personality?
Do something about it?
It wouldn't kill her to be more modest, maybe a little more ladylike.
If you dare reprogram me, I will self-destruct in your eye socket.
So you were listening, huh?
Now, the Somnium Files can basically be grouped into 2 parts, 2 major gameplay loops, if you will. For one, there is the very visual novel-like scene investigation. In these scene investigations, you can't move your character, you can only look around. And for a pseudo-completionist with an intense fear of missing out, such as myself, this is literal hell. It's like Hades had ascended from the depths of the underworld for the sole purpose of creating these scenes. Because here's the thing, whenever you enter one of these scenes, there will be roughly 10,000 different objects to click on. And occasionally clicking one of these will lead to short dialogues or tidbits of information. But for the most part what you get is very trivial. For example, you click a desk and it will literally just say, it's a desk. And to make matters worse, a lot of these objects can be clicked several times. Clicking these does not actually seem to have any impact on the gameplay itself, so if you're afraid of missing out on stuff, these become more work than fun. Because for the most part, what you get for checking every object really isn't worth it. The other part of this scene investigation is talking to the characters there. And these dialogues are usually very engaging and well written, but these also don't seem to have an impact on the game itself. You basically just go through all the options until you hit the one that progresses the story. And the second part of the game, where it deviates strongly from your run-of-the-mill visual novel, is when you're in Somnium. Now what the hell is Somnium? Basically, through some technical mumbo-jumbo and with the help of your companion Aiba, your main character is capable of entering dreams. And within these dreams, or Somnium as they are called by the game, the truth will be sealed away behind various mental locks. So whenever a suspect won't comply or simply can't, Date will sync with them and enter their dreams to uncover the truth by breaking through these locks. And the way this is done is fairly interesting. You generally have a time limit of 360 seconds. When you're standing still and observing everything, time will be slowed down immensely. It will only regularly progress whenever you walk around or take an action. So when you're in Somnium, you're trying to break mental locks by doing different things to various objects. And since this is a dream world, things can get pretty obscure from time to time.
Wear it?
How are you doing that?
Unknown.
And this is also where you as the player have an actual impact on the story. Because every now and then when you're in Somnium, there will be different ways to go about a problem. And however you choose to solve this problem will progress the story in a different way or on another route. And this of course sounds very cool in theory, but in reality there is one big problem. As I said, you're in a dream. Things get weird. And while sometimes you can make a logical connection to what will happen if you do X, at other times it can be pretty hard to guess why that happened after you did this. So it often devolves into simply trial and error. For example, you'll be presented with two mental locks that say A, remove the birdcage, or B, blow the birdcage away. And while these are already not very helpful, it's not even like you're actually making the choice between these two options. Rather, you'll have two cages, one filled with balloons and another one filled with torn puzzle pieces, leaving you to guess as to which one unlocks which mental lock and what the outcome of unlocking that mental lock will actually be. So while theoretically you can steer the story into a certain direction, it really becomes more of a guessing game. It's not that bad because there is a flowchart and you can always go back and pick another choice after the fact, but I personally felt a little screwed over by it at some points. But whichever choice you go with at the end isn't necessarily good or bad. They usually have their own advantages and disadvantages and just drive the story down a different route. And that's the big thing, the story. Because these two core gameplay loops are connected via exciting cutscenes, lovable characters, engaging dialogue, and a soundtrack that knows how to set the atmosphere, whether it be tense, relaxed, or enigmatic. Now, sure, as you might have already been able to tell from the design of some characters, you should be prepared for some level of anime bullshit. But overall, the story is really captivating. And so once again, the question at hand is, did it hook me? Was the story gripping enough to make me grind through the tedious scene investigations? Yes it was. The story's just too good. There's people dying left, right, and center. It's great! But seriously, it's an exciting narrative. It made me want to keep playing. Now, the price for this little gem is still pretty high. Whether you're in Europe or the US, it's gonna set you back $95, $99 or euros respectively. And as per usual, your prices may vary further depending on your exact location. And if the frequent Steam sales have spoiled you to the point where you very seldomly buy a full-priced game, then I understand that. And I would probably urge you to wait for a little bit of a discount. But aside from that, and if you don't mind a little bit of reading, then I would highly encourage you to check this one out. Now, of course, reading is for nerds, but for one, all character lines are fully voice acted, and voice acted well at that. And secondly, this story is actually worth a little bit of reading. And with that being said, that's it for the Somnium Files. I hope you enjoyed it and you had fun. As always, feel free to like or dislike using the buttons below. Subscribe for more, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Hey, you alright? Are you okay?
Morning sickness.
What?
I'm kidding. It's not like I would know.
Get on. I'll give you a ride home.
Yeah, score.
Just wondering, but how much do you weigh?
Don't you know it's rude to ask a lady that?
105 pounds.
I see. 105, huh?
You can tell just by lifting me?
Yeah.
Your back is so warm, Mr. Date.